It is my pleasure to welcome you to a BPW celebration. We are celebrating 90 years of international history of women helping women. I am Sandy Thompson, immediate past president of BPW USA. While we were looking forward to welcoming you to the 30th International Congress in Orlando, Florida this week, we are excited to be able to welcome you to a 5-day celebration of BPW. And we look forward to welcoming you soon in the near future to a BPW celebration in the US. This event shows how flexible and resourceful BPW women can be. We do not let a little thing like a pandemic stop our being able to come together, engage, and celebrate. Our founder, Dr. Lena Madison Phillips, believed that gaining economic equality would enable women to achieve equality in education, social, and political aspects of society. She was quoted saying, "If our motive is right, if we have faith, vision, and courage, accomplishment must come. This is the legacy we celebrate." I would like to introduce two past international presidents that are with us today. First, Sylvia Perry and Elizabeth Benham. We are very delighted to have them with us to celebrate. Today, we are asking members to share what BPW means to you. When I think of what BPW means to me, it's a variety of things. It means friends, resources when I need help with a problem, endeavor. My attorney, insurance agent, and financial advisor are all BPW sisters. It means travel. I would never have imagined traveling to Egypt and being on a camel and seeing the pyramids, or going to Mexico City and seeing their pyramids, or going to Russia, to St. Petersburg and visiting the Hermitage Museum. All amazing experiences done with women from around the world. But just as important, it also means advocacy for women. Our organization has had consultative status at the UN for 73 years. It is inspiring to me to be a part of an organization that has such a rich history of working for the betterment of women in all aspects of their lives. The sustainable goals that we have are a roadmap to ways to make things better, not just for women, but for all. When I joined BPW 38 years ago, I worked in a male-dominated industry, and I soon realized that women were treated differently. Being part of this organization helped me to be able to progress in my job and to help make things better for women. It helped to give me confidence to speak up when needed and to work to make things more equal in an unequal world. And I'm not sure if our first speaker was able to get in. She was having some issues. So now I would like to introduce our first speaker, Megan Shellman-Ricard, the newly elected president of BPW USA. Megan will now share what BPW means to her.
Thank you, immediate past national president Sandy Thompson. Greetings, BPW sisters from around the world. My name is Megan Shellman-Ricard, and I am the newly elected president of NFBPWC, known as BPW USA on the international stage. My husband, 2 school-aged children, and I live in Colorado, a landlocked, mountainous area in the middle of the United States. What does BPW mean to me? BPW has been an integral part of my professional, business, and personal life for the past 13 years. I began my leadership journey as a young careerist, a competitive version of young BPW in which we were mentored and guided to learn about ourselves as young career women during a process of interviews, speeches, and essays. Now, more than a decade later, I Zoom before you as the newly elected president of NFBPWC, which is BPW USA. I am both humbled and honored with the responsibility placed into my hands. BPW means celebrating the foundation of our heritage that Dr. Lena Madison Phillips brought to the international stage in 1930. It is from this legacy that we can cultivate a bright future for members from all generations. It means promoting solidarity, diversity, inclusion, innovation, and most of all, sisterhood. Our experiences together help us determine our future as members. I owe more than gratitude to the women from the USA who kept our organization alive and thriving. They have encouraged and mentored me to be the BPW woman that I am today. Past BPW USA presidents, Bessie Hieronymus, Liz Benham, and Sandy Thompson taught me how to integrate my career, my family, and my passion for BPW into a sustainable and empowering venture. To me, BPW empowers me because the women at the top, like BPW International Secretary Bessie Hieronymus and past International President Elizabeth Benham, took the time to encourage me to become a future leader. I believe that BPW has the capacity to grow the leadership potential in all of us. Thank you for inviting me to this, and thank you, Madam Regional Coordinator Dawn Williams and immediate past National President Sandy Thompson for giving me this opportunity.
Thank you, Megan. Now it is my pleasure to introduce past National BPW President and our current International Executive Secretary, Bessie Hieronymus.
Thank you, Sandy, and thank you, everybody. I joined BPW many years ago as a young woman with a 3-year-old son and a 4-month-old daughter. 8 members of my family have been or are BPW members in 3 generations. BPW to me is not just an organization to which I belong. To me, it is a way of life. Its mission, its vision are also my idea of a perfect life. I am passionate about BPW for all it offers and all it does, not just for our members, but for all the women that we represent around the world. BPW is a great support system. When I was changing my career to take a job that was considered a man's job, it was like climbing a ladder backwards and with high heels. Besides my husband and family, BPW was my support system. With the friendships, the training, and the experience gained, it was much easier to stick to my goals. By taking responsibilities in BPW, you acquire traits that help you in many other aspects of your life. When I joined as a young woman, I didn't think I would start 2 foundations, preside over several large organizations, be the first female commodore of a yacht club, or be elected government official for 25 years. BPW gave me the empowerment to guide me in these endeavors. As usually I say, BPW means building powerful women. It helps us create and make a reality the future that we want. They say the future is not some place we are going to, but the one we are creating. The paths to it are not found, but made, and the activities of making them changes both the maker and the destination. BPW is a change maker. All we have to do is participate in its activities and to love what you're doing. That's my BPW.
Thank you, Bessie. It is now my privilege to introduce past International President Elizabeth Liz Benham. Liz, you're on mute.
Yes, thank you so much. What a pleasure to be with all the beautiful BPW sisters from around the world. Just looking at the picture immediately, I know almost all of you. And that's really something to be said for this organization. BPW came into my life at the age of 36. I was already very much accomplished. I'd had a career as a nurse midwife. I specialized in high-risk obstetrics. I'd started a business, a multi-million-dollar business distributing products around the world. And I had, that of course is why I never had any children. I was a nurse specialized in high-risk obstetrics, and I decided I couldn't or didn't really want to have children. I'd rather have a career and leave the babies up to other people to have. But it was that was part of where I was with my career. I'd also patented my invention, and so a lot of things had happened. On the leisure side, I was a skydiver. I had become an international skydiving judge, one of only 3 in the world. I had traveled to communist countries like the old Czechoslovakia and Bulgaria, which was a huge eye-opener for me in terms of, you know, around the world. And I had also become a glider pilot. And for leisure, I traveled around the world. So it was at that time when I really was just looking for something else. I'd moved to New York, and there I saw an advertisement for BPW in the newspaper. And the lady who answered the phone was a nurse. And we immediately hit it off. And that was where I became involved with BPW. It was a small club. There was only about 10 members. And they were pretty much older. Within 3 months, they'd asked me to be the president of the club, gave me old lists of the previous members that had been there, and I became the president, went to work. I soon developed the club into 50 members. And that's where it just mushroomed from there. My involvement with BPW continued and serving at all levels. But the joy that I've got out of it is the friendships and the passion and the commitment that I've gotten from women around the world. And it's been that pleasure that has really kept me, the glue of the great friendships of sisterhood around the world, that's kept me in excited and passionate and committed to BPW. So that's what it means to me, the joy and the passion of sisterhood and just being around accomplished women who have great humility and who really care. Thank you.
Now I am very pleased to present our regional coordinator for North America and the Caribbean, Don Williams.
Good morning, all. It's such a pleasure to be with you today. I'm from a very small island in the Caribbean known as St. Kitts. What BPW means to me. I actually joined BPW after taking early retirement and wanting to be a part of something that will help women to grow. And I remembered growing up, there was this business and professional women's club that did so much for the women in St. Kitts. So I then went on a search, found the initial president, and the history of BPW St. Kitts began. For me, BPW means a platform which I can use as a launch pad to support women and girls to become economically empowered. Why? That platform affords me a sacred space. That space where I can be the voice for the voiceless and really be in a position to assist women and girls to develop and grow. Develop and grow not just in a vacuum, but towards gender parity. It also means that come to place. That come to place because it's a safe haven from harm where women and girls can come amongst like-minded women who will nurture them and nourish them to unleash their potential. Because BPW provides all that and more, BPW is very special to me. And I will be a part of BPW for as long as I can. Thanks for your time, Sandy, and I'll now give another woman the opportunity.
Thank you. We will now open it up to anyone who would like to share what BPW means to them. We do ask that you try to limit your remarks to 2 minutes so we can allow as many people as possible. So please raise your hand if you would like to speak. Do we have any hands raised? Don't all raise your hands at once.
We have Francesca.
Francesca, we'll call on Francesca and then Eva Frank.
Good morning, everyone. When I think of BPW, it's so nice to see all of you here. And when I think of BPW, I think of so many different things. First of all, the sisterhood, and to be connected to so many like-minded women around the world who are so dedicated to women and to the advancement of women. I mean, where do you find a group like this? It's just been so wonderful. And my travels around the world and to speak at different conferences. I mean, I grew up in a lower socioeconomic situation where my parents strived very hard to move us into the middle class. And then to think that I've been, you know, connected to women in so many different continents and to represent BPW at the United Nations. I mean, it's been just wonderful, and to advocate for women and to have all these friendships and this sisterhood. I mean, words can't even express how I feel about this group. I just love being here. I love each and every one of you. And I look forward to continue working with you to advance the cause of all women on all levels and to continue building powerful women. And thank you for the opportunity to speak today.
Thank you, Francesca. Now, Eva Frank.
Hello, ladies. It's an honor for me to speak on an international congress. I am speaking from Tyrol, Austria, Europe. We are glad to announce that we can celebrate 20 years of club next year. We are in a country where business is mainly made by men, but we are coming forward. We are strong, working on empowerment. And I am on the next 5 days, I'm looking forward to this wonderful opportunity to listen to you all. Thanks.
We have also been joined by immediate past International President Yasmin Darwish. Yasmin, would you like to share what BPW means to you?
Hi, Sandy. Yes, of course. Well, I belong to BPW since 42 years ago. And it was a pleasure to represent BPW Mexico in the Congress of New Zealand in 1985. And I can say that is Yasmin Darwish before and after that Congress. When I saw all these ladies, more than 1,000 members attending the New Zealand Congress. And it was the first time that they made a special function for young BPWs. In fact, that name doesn't exist, didn't exist at that time. So the theme of the Congress, it was Youth Today, Leaders Tomorrow. And it was an amazing experience. And I saw all these ladies working so hard all over the world. And I said, Yasmin, what are you doing? You are only a doctor. I am a doctor, gynecologist, and obstetrician surgeon. And I said, you need to do something more. It's not enough. So I am completely engaged in the work of BPW since then. And I have the privilege to work with all the past international presidents that visit the main project of BPW International, which is the nursing school in La Paz that maybe some of you have never heard about, but it was the best example how united we can build something for the history as this nursing school. So since then, as I said, I fully engaged in BPW. I've been club president twice, then national president, regional coordinator, standing committee chair of health and public relations, then executive secretary, and then international president. And along those years, I can say that my life is full of experience, and I can understand much better the not only the work of women, the spirit of women, and why Lena dedicated all her life for this organization, to build this organization that we really need to keep moving forward for more than the 90 years that we are celebrating this year. So I encourage all of you to fully engage in BPW, in your clubs, in your local level, national level, international level, so we can keep the organization running and functioning as our founder would like to see. Thank you very much, Sandy, for the time.
Thank you. Now, I'm very pleased to present Jo Kinsey from England. I got to know her when we were in Cairo, and so this is exciting to get to see her again. Please, Jo.
Hi, Sandy. Thank you very much, and hello to everyone. I just wanted to say a couple of things. The BPW mentorship, fellowship, and friendship have really helped to rebuild my confidence. My world has grown with BPW sisters around the globe. So thank you very much indeed. And thank you, Sandy, for letting me talk. Thank you.
Thank you. We've also been joined by Vice President Membership for International, Susan Jones. Susan, would you like to share anything? Susan here?
She's mute.
She's mute, because I'm not seeing her. Is she mute on here?
Sandy, she may be away from her device. Perhaps Silvia Perry could speak to us?
Yeah. Okay. Silvia, would you like to speak?
Well, I wasn't going to, because I have been in this organization 50 years. So though I've told a lot and said a lot about it, I'm absolutely delighted to hear the experiences and the breadth of that you have here in your participants this morning. I think this is really the whole thing that excited me when I first went to my first Congress in Monroe, was actually to see so many people from so many different lands. And although there were languages, although there were differences in locations and upbringing and various things out there, we seem to have this incredible bond, this sisterhood, and that sold me that first time. So I've never left, and I'm still here, plugging my computer and working with everybody and thoroughly enjoying it, and really finding it exciting to see the new members come along and they're getting so much benefit and so much joy out of it. And I think that's the whole thing sums up for me. Thank you.
Thank you. We also have with us a regional coordinator for Europe, Giuseppina Bombaci. Pina, would you like to say anything? Pina, you're on mute.
No worries. Thank you,
go.
my dear. Thank you, everyone. And I am here. You know my name. My name is Pinella Bombaci, the regional coordinator, and I can confirm the idea of Bessie, because the BPW for me is not only a great federation to defend the women's rights, for the empowerment of women is a way, is a style of life. And I remember I joined the BPW about 27 years ago. And the members, considering that Pinella normally, usually works well, they elected me before finance officer, and then vice president, and then national president in Italy. And the past regional coordinator, Amélie Leclerc, discovered Pinella, discovered me, and said to me, Pinella, you have to become the regional coordinator. And I am in Europe region, about 9 years, 6 years as secretary and 3 years as a coordinator. I was obliged to learn English. English is for me is incredible because at school I studied French, and during this experience I learned the English. My English, I know, is poor, but was enough to manage BPW Europe in a wise way, with calm, with a good experience, and for me it was a delicious experience, and I can affirm that is feeling this last part of my life. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes.
Our next speaker will be Carmen Haney from Ireland, followed by Cher Singh from the USA.
Hi, I joined BPW 16 years ago, and just to give you my experience, on the night I joined, I was given a job, and that then led me to become president of my local club. Then I became national president for 2 sessions, and now I'm the new ECC secretary, the European secretary. I've had some journey, but along the way I've made some amazing friends and friendships, and I would encourage everybody that's already in BPW to bring in other people now, to show them what we give and what we do as an organisation. And there's loads of women out there, younger women that may not have heard of us, so go out and find them and bring them in and show them what amazing organisation we are. Thank you.
Thank you. Cher?
Hi, good morning from where I am. My name is Cher Singh and I'm in Sacramento, California. I am with the local club as well as on the Bay District and the state level. I became interested in BPW from a very young 86-year-old lady that I worked with, who I became very close with, and she was a past president of our local club. And she took me there, and I immediately felt there was a connection for me, because I was already involved in other organizations, and I was president of a domestic violence board, and felt I could coordinate all the work that we were doing from that perspective with those women from the BPW club. I enjoy people. I've lived in many countries. I love languages. And so to me, when I came here and discovered, I researched the BPW and discovered the downtown Sacramento BPW and got involved. And from there, I met some very beautiful people, and here I am. I really am a voice for those who don't have a voice. I have a passion for fighting for issues, and look forward to, besides the 18 years in BPW in New York, to see how I can be the voice and continue to work alongside people such as yourselves. I'm excited to meet many of you from different places. And so this is an exciting journey for me. Thank you.
Thank you, Cher. Do we have Anyone else? We also have with us past USA National President, Dr. Trish Knight. So Trish, I'm going to put you on the spot. Would you like to say anything? Trish, there you go.
Good morning, everyone, and it's a pleasure to be with you all. I've been a little bit out of the loop for a couple of years as my husband and I have been doing some traveling across the United States in our motorhome. When I joined BPW, I was a professional woman working in a college atmosphere, a wonderful woman in that area came to me at a Rotary meeting, and she said, I have an organization that you would just be a wonderful fit for. I attended a meeting, and the first thing that piqued my interest was the camaraderie of the women that were at that meeting, the friendships that they had developed from a diverse number of backgrounds and careers. The second thing that piqued my interest was their passion for advocacy, their passion for other women, their passion for making life better for women and families across the United States at that time. And then I learned more as I became more involved in the organization. I learned more about the worldwide outreach that this organization has. And I was absolutely drawn in 100%. I spent time, as I've heard others say, I joined and immediately was put to work. That's pretty much how it happened. I used to jokingly say that if you were breathing, you could be president. But pushing you into a role of leadership that you had not been used to doing is very rewarding. You learn on the run, and it is a wonderful experience. The friendships that I have made, both from my original local organization to the state, to the national, and now international, I hold deeply in my heart. And I am so thankful for this organization for giving me opportunities to grow, to learn, and to discover. Thank you.
Thank you. Our next speaker will be Manu Vixx.
Hello, I am Manu Vixx and I am from Estonia, the immediate past president of BPW Estonia. And just to introduce where Estonia actually is, it is in the northern part of Europe. So today we have the last day of summer. From tomorrow it will be cold again. So not snowing yet, but cold. And my connection with BPW started actually 21 years ago when I was included in a mentoring program. And my mentor happened to be the member of BPW here in Estonia. And we got so well connected that I said, I want to join BPW. But they didn't let me. I had to do many things, organize many events, helped to organize the year 2000 European conference here in Tallinn. And then only in 2002, the year they said, now you can join BPW. So it was quite a journey for me before I could join actually. And the more I evaluate BPW and being the member, and I had 3 children, a husband, a family, a career. I had many friends, but still something was missing. So that's why I wanted to join BPW. And I have been very happy since. And also, it gave me the opportunity to try myself as a leader. So I was elected in my local club became the president of my local club for 3 years. Then I was on the board of BPW Estonia. Then I became the president of BPW Estonia for 3 years. And my last achievement is that I was a candidate for the next European coordinator. So hopefully in some time I will, with help of Pinella, probably become the next European coordinator. And for me, what BPW has given to me, it is the everlasting friendship and of course a big opportunity to be a leader on every level, and like-minded women with whom together I work. And when I became the president of BPW Estonia, then I already reached the European level. Attending the president's meetings on European level have been so eye-opening and so great to get to know everyone. And then I discovered that we can take part in the CSW in New York. So then I started to come to New York and met even more women. And of course, all the congresses and the Leaders Summit in New York. And it has been really, really, really great and made my life so interesting. And I have been always trying to give it back to other women. So here in Estonia, we are very active. We have a lot of events, which have a lot of projects. And when yesterday we had big celebrations, celebrated the 29th anniversary of Estonia getting back the independence. Maybe, I think you know that we were once part of Soviet Union. So yesterday, 29 years ago. And then I couldn't even believe what can happen in my life, but what you can see what has happened. And it's so overwhelming that I lose my words already. But to give back the women that once when we became independent, women from Sweden started to come here and teach us. So now we are giving it back to women from Moldova, from Belarus, from countries that need our knowledge. So this is so great that it really, really overwhelms me. So BPW has been such a big part of my life, and I'm very thankful for you all that you have made it possible. Thank you very much. And greetings to BPW USA. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank
Okay,
you.
our next speaker will be Silvia Magata.
Hello. Do you listen to me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay. I would like to speak. I would like to thank you. Thank you, BPW, for giving me the opportunity to meet all of you, because as I say always, Asisu, my company is my life, but BPW is my passion. I had the opportunity to travel around the world to meet magnificent and fabulous women, and it's been a very nice opportunity to learn from all of you and to know every day and to learn from every time that I sit in a table and speak of any of you. I have learned a little bit of your experience and your knowledge, and that was very important for me. And I want to thank you to all of you, because that's why for me BPW is my passion for you, because that's the primary reason. It is my sisters, my sisterhood. All of you is what is making BPW so important for me, because without you, BPW will be not anything. Thank you, ladies.
Thank you. Our next speaker is from Canada, Karen Gouret.
Hi, everybody. This is Karen Gushra. Nice to see you, Sandy.
Nice to see you.
I've been a member for almost 30 years. When I first joined, I needed to, for work, I needed a networking group, and I wanted something that wasn't just a ladies group with bake sales. So I knew somebody that was in BPW, so I went to a meeting, and I was so impressed by people jumping up, volunteering to do things, you know, something needed to be done, and they did it. And I thought, well, this sounds like a pretty good organization. And here, 30 years later, I'm the Vice President membership for BPW Canada, and honored to do that. My first Congress was in Helsinki, and that was just amazing with the women from around the world. Being a part of something like that is really something. And it's unfortunate that the word's not out there because there's so many other women that are looking for BPW, they just don't know it. And if they gave us a try, they're gonna stick around. When you hear about the long time experience with Silvia with 50 years, and I know in Canada, we've got a member that's 61 years. So, you know, we stick it out for the long run, and we certainly may join for different things, meeting with our members of parliament, giving them our brief with our advocacy. You know, it's really putting things into action. And that's what, you know, I came for one thing, but certainly stayed for 1,000 others. So thank you for the opportunity to speak, and great to see everybody.
Great, thank you. Our next speaker is Maggie. I'm not sure how to pronounce your last name.
It's Maggie Kigozi.
Thank you. Please go ahead.
Hello, hi everyone, ladies. I'm so happy to see you. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. I am happy to be with you. I am Maggie. We call it Kigozi, but everyone else reads it the way it is said, Kigozi. I am from Uganda, here in East Africa. I started BPW here not so long ago, about 6 years now. And we meet, we have fun. We were very privileged to host the last, the Africa Congress a few years ago, and some of you did come and attend, which was lovely. We are happy with the work we do with the younger women, and building our own capacity and advocating for a number of issues. So yes, we are just like BPW everywhere. I am hearing similar things happening in your countries. So yes, happy celebration. We are 90 years old.
Thank you. Our next speaker is Janine Monroe Rusnak from the United States.
Hi, greetings everyone. I'm Janine Monroe Rusnak here in Cleveland, Ohio. Oh, can you hear me? Oh, yeah. Thanks. Cleveland, Ohio in the USA. My affiliation with BPW began about 11 years ago. It marked my first experience with a group of professional women who truly and earnestly worked to lift each other up, not just in word, but also in deed. Much like my new friend, Cher, I believe that advocacy and amplifying the voices of others is my calling. So I am excited to have recently been elected as the second Vice President of Advocacy for the USA. And I'm thrilled to represent BPW USA in this vein. And I'm just really super excited about beginning to nurture and found more relationships on the international level. Seeing this awesome group of women from all over the world just really touches my heart. So I'm looking forward to the future. Thanks so much for doing this.
Thank you. Our next speaker is Marjorie Hopper from Hollywood, California. Hooray for Hollywood. Marjorie, you're muted. Marjorie, you need to unmute. There you go. Nope, there. You muted again, Marjorie.
I'm having trouble. Can you hear me now?
Now we can. Go ahead.
Oh, I wasn't expecting to speak, and I had great challenges with my new computer and not getting on, so I hadn't really prepared. But I love BPW, and I was introduced to BPW by an outstanding woman in Hollywood who just had everybody listening to her, and she one day mentioned BPW, and I said, well, what is BPW? So she invited me to a meeting in Hollywood, and guess what? I'm still a member of Hollywood, and our Hollywood Club has just celebrated its 99th anniversary, and we're looking forward to our 100th. And through Hollywood BPW and through our district and state federations and international, I've met so many wonderful friends and opportunities. And as the program coordinator for the state, I have had interesting speakers to meet. And so I just say hooray, not only for Hollywood, but for BPW.
Okay. We're getting low on time, so our next two speakers will be our co-hosts. First, Nalima Basnet.
Namaste to everyone. For me, BPW is a university. That's what I think. I was supposed to graduate this week in Florida, but that didn't happen. Maybe we'll have a convocation pretty soon. I joined BPW because ever since I was small, I was a very, person with a voice. We call the word, chuchi in Nepali. It's like the person who always has something to say. So when I started becoming young, I started thinking why people, my family say that. And I just realized that I had to speak up anytime if there was something wrong going on. I was fighting for my mother. I was fighting for my sisters. And one thing that made me, be a part of BPW is there was a time when I wished I was a boy, because the world was different for my brother, and it was completely different for me. So ever since that, I started saying that I need to fight for other young girls, that they don't feel the way I feel. So ever since that, it has been a part of, BPW has been a part of my life. It has given me a voice. When I joined in 2013 in BPW Nepal, I was just volunteering in the activities. But then we don't earn a lot compared to other countries, in Nepal. So I collected whatever I had, and I went to Cyprus for the young symposium there. And that's where everything changed for me. I met these amazing young girls from Europe. And I thought to myself, if these girls can do so much, I think I need to do the same back home. And then after that, I started attending all the events, whether it was in New York, in Singapore, another country. And then I realized that BPW can give me a platform to, make me think as a global citizen. So ever since that, it has been, amazing journey. And I would say that, to see so many women who has been a part of BPW for 50 or 60 years, I don't know how long I'll last, but last 7 or 8 years, it has been a great experience. I feel like going to being part of a event of a BPW, anything, it's like going to a family, celebration. So for me, BPW is a university as well as a family.
Okay, thank you. And now we'll hear from Dr. Ann Hilty.
Thanks, Sandy. So I have an unusual global BPW experience, as many of you know. I'm from New York City, and 30-some years ago, when I was a young woman, I was asked to join BPW and introduced to it. But I was a fist in the air, in the streets feminist at that time, and so I joined other groups instead. I was very much an activist. And circling around, after the age of 40, I began living abroad. And in 2011, Korea, specifically the Jeju chapter, in which I had a couple of friends, asked me to join them because they were about to have a Congress 3 years later. And then I was made the Congress organizer, as many of you know, for Jeju. So I belonged to Korea first, interestingly enough, the Jeju Club, for 3 years. After our Congress, I went to UK. I thought I was moving there. I stayed there 3 months, and then I went back to Korea. It called me back. But I joined BPW UK in the meantime, and I attended a couple of their functions and met a lot of their members. Went back to Korea, rejoined the club there. A year later, I was able to return to Hong Kong, where I'd also lived before, and to start a new Hong Kong club as their founding president. Their previous club of 34 years duration had closed 2 years previously. So we gathered some new women and we started a new club, and it's going strong today with its third president, and it's modeling youth leadership after me, of course. I'm not in that category anymore. But they have a number of, actually a majority of young members, and now their third president, second and third ones are young BPW members. So everyone after me has been a young BPW member. And so I'm on an advisory council to them. But I'm no longer living in Hong Kong. Now I'm living in Istanbul, and I've joined one of the newer clubs here. The club itself is 2 years old, and I'm their newest member and the only non-Turkish speaking member. So I belong there as well. In the interim, last year, I was a member of a new club in Greece, not living there, but to help support them and working with their first president. And circling around in 2014, I actually did join the New York City Club, and I'm an ancillary member there, or associate member since that time. So I've got a foot in several continents at the moment. And so for me, the local experience is very important. I've been active with all those clubs in one way or another. And also, of course, the international experience is just priceless. Thanks.
It's now my pleasure to introduce the president of the Canadian BPW, Linda Davis.
Thanks so much, Sandy. It's my great pleasure to close us out today. And again, to thank Ann and Nilima for their technical parts of today, and thank the other members of my region for their contributions, and to thank everyone, really. It's just been a really quite interesting event today, so thank you. I want to say a special congratulations to Megan, who is stepping into her new position as president of NFBPWC, or as we like to call it, BPW USA. And just a little bit about my journey here. So I have been a 25-year member of BPW here in Canada. I started out as the local president and then moved into a provincial president, and now serving as national president. We're in Canada celebrating our 90th anniversary, as well as BPW International. So it's quite an exciting time to be part of BPW. Why did I join? I joined because in my career, in my job, I was wanting to engage young people in women's issues. And I thought to myself, here's the thought: just because I was born a woman doesn't mean I really know what women's issues are. We're not all born with that knowledge. So I had to go seeking, what are women's issues and what should I be talking about? And so I did some research and found BPW, and it's been a wonderful experience ever since. I didn't realize the privilege that I have being a white woman, and you know, even though I come from a background that's lower socioeconomic, I was a single mom for many, many years. I feel like I have a voice, and I need to use that voice because of my privilege to be able to speak on behalf of women who can't. So it really is the activism that pulled me into BPW. And I think that going forward, I think that we have an obligation to maintain that. Yes, it's business. Yes, there is a business component to BPW, but I think the activism, as my colleague Karen had said earlier, it's incumbent upon us to ensure that we speak for women who can't speak for themselves, and make sure that we try to level that playing field so that that situation changes. So gender equality is very much a part of what I do every day. I think that we have to continue to make that the forefront. There are all kinds of issues that we can be beating the bushes and putting the fires out. But until we level the playing field with gender equality, we're never going to gain the ground that we need to gain. So that would be my message is BPW going forward, maintain our activism, maintain that gender equality piece, and I hope for 90 more years of successful activism within BPW. Thank you to everyone for your thoughts, your heart, your hard work, and being part and maintaining BPW as a going concern across the world. Thank you.